Hey everybody, and welcome back to another book review. So I this month for the book club that I'm in read Choosing Gratitude, which is like a daily devotional that hopefully leads you to thinking about joy and things differently. And this is by Nancy DeMoss Wilgemuth. As you guys know, been in this book club for several years. It is predominantly full of Christian women. So every once in a while we we get one of the devotional books. And honestly, it really wasn't that bad. It was nice to have something very, very chill, something to kind of think about, especially looking at how you go through your life in giving gratitude and really kind of challenging the idea that gratitude is something that is just more or less a platitude. A lot of times when we are saying thank you for something, we don't necessarily mean it. It's just a habit, right? And just kind of really making it something that is actually meaningful, not just something that you do. She talked about writing thank you notes, which I am terrible at writing thank you notes. Because I was forced to write thank you notes as a kid and I knew I just didn't mean it. Like I said thank you and that was more meaningful to me than writing a thank you note. However, writing thank you notes or giving thank you gifts and things like that, that is something that I do know speaks more volumes to people. So I've been trying to be better about it. And even if I don't necessarily get like an actual thank you note out, I at least try to give a call or, send a text or something. It's something that's just not easy for me. And so in the book, it does have a couple like challenges of, like for 30 days, try saying thank you or writing thank you. She also talked about, at least for her and her husband, who she unfortunately lost very recently. But they turned their sunroom into a gratitude room. So like every day they would write something on a sticky note and then stick it on the wall. And so eventually it was like more than just the wall. Then it moved to the next wall, and which sounds like absolutely beautiful. And I do love the idea of, writing down what you're thankful for at the end of the day, especially if you've been going through a lot. And she talks about going through cancer diagnoses and other illnesses and just being thankful for the smallest thing of just like there was no nausea today. There was no whatever. And I also just felt like it was very timely for me in that I've been saying thank you a lot to a lot of different people in regards to my pregnancy. Just really trying to keep everything very, very positive and negative within this pregnancy because little humans pick up on everything. And having to go through something that was medically scary that could risk the entire pregnancy, but having people that were very, very sound in their medical judgment, and then also just very caring the whole surgery process and making sure that baby is safe, which baby is safe. And just like really taking care of me. I keep, saying like I want that entire team of doctors at all times for like any other surgery that I ever have to have for the rest of my life. It has to be that team of doctors. I know that it can't be, but they were just absolutely wonderful. The nurses were wonderful. They were supportive. They were absolutely caring. One doctor went above and beyond the call of duty in that she noticed that I had a tattoo of Proverbs from Proverbs, and she started reciting Proverbs and like not provoked. She was just like, I noticed that you have this tattoo. What does that mean for you? Let's go through different parts of Proverbs, and no doctor has to do that. Just having those kind of people in your life, even for whatever small amount of time that they're in your life, is just wonderful. And so like I was very, very thankful for them. And unfortunately I was so out of it that I couldn't necessarily say thankful or say thank you. But I've been working on writing notes and things to them because they did not have to do that. They did not have to go above and beyond the call of duty. And I'm so glad that I have been very lucky to find such a team of doctors that is going above the call of duty as needed and is just genuinely kind in their humanity. And so this book just kind of really solidified that and reiterated those things. And then it also, challenged me as well, just, to make sure that I am saying thank you. And truly meaning it and not just saying thank you because that's what you do. We teach kids when they're so little, say please, say thank you, which kids do eventually pick up, but are they actually doing it because you told them to or because they're actually thankful, and just thinking about that as like when I'm talking to kids at various points, in work, I actually am one of those people, especially when I'm at the museum and kids come in and don't say good morning and it drives me nuts, or don't say hello or anything. And I'm like, you just walked into my space. You're going to speak. And teaching kids that, and a lot of parents are like, oh yeah, I've been telling them that. And I'm like, keep telling them that because it's just part of being polite, but also the amount of parents that, like, if I say, have a wonderful rest of your day, thank you for stopping in or whatever, and the amount of parents that will turn and say, make sure you say thank you, is nice to see. But also the amount of parents that don't do that, that don't tell their kids to say thank you. Like if I've just said thank you, the response is you're welcome, or also saying thank you. So yeah, it was just a very, very interesting book to kind of reflect on. And because it's book club, a lot of times I do not purchase the books from book club because I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like this book. Even though I also have a really bad habit of purchasing books before reading them. But this book I am going to go out and purchase because it has the daily devotional in the back. So I want to make sure that I get that and actually go through it. So overall I gave it a 4. And the reason I gave it a 4 is because there were some parts of it that are just hard for me to grapple with, but like the longer I've sat with it, the more I'm okay with those elements, and really talking about being grateful in a moment despite something horrendous going on, or finding the small, like I said, when she was talking about various illnesses and cancer diagnoses, the cancer itself is awful, right? Any person that has gone through excessive cancer treatment knows that it is awful, but there are moments within that you can be grateful for, like there was no nausea today, or got good news, like those kind of things versus being thankful for the cancer. And so that is something that like I'm still kind of wrestling with and like, trying to process, but like I totally get it, especially and I said this during our book club meeting, but like sometimes you don't realize that you need to be thankful, or you should be thankful for something until way, way later. And I use the example of like back in October, I was in a boot, and so I couldn't easily dance for several weeks, which is a very big part of my life. It's something I'm very passionate about, and so I was like, what do I do? Like, how do I function? I suddenly can't do the thing I love to do. And it was only, a couple weeks, right? And then I was fine and I was able to go back to dance and working out and things. But then moving forward several months, I get to the point that I am right now in my pregnancy journey, and being told you can't dance. Like that, like at first, like I was like, this sucks, but then I thought about it, I was like, no, but I've been prepared for this. And having the several weeks in October to not now has prepared me for this moment of I can't in the quantity that I was, leading up through the rest of this pregnancy. And I do have to be very, very careful, especially to take care of a little bit. Um, so yeah, like it's for me, it was like, oh, looking back on it, I'm like, I'm thankful that I had that earlier experience, that I'm prepared for this experience. And so it's small things like that, that, still kind of wrestling with, but being okay with it. So yeah, overall, like I said, really good book, especially if you're a person that likes a good daily devotional. This does have that, and there's several others, books that are kind of in the same series written by her. And yeah, so I really enjoyed it. Glad that we did it, even though sometimes I get frustrated when they're like, oh, we're going to do this kind of book. And I'm like, just because I'm a big novels person. So, but yeah, so like really enjoyed it, and really thankful that we got to read through it this month. So there you have it. Again, Choosing Gratitude, by Nancy DeMoss Wilgemuth. There's a couple different editions of it as well, because I think the first one was written before she was married, and then there's like updates. So look up, be on the lookout for that if you're into those kind of books. So thank you as always, for coming along this journey. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you so choose. And I will see you in the next book review. Bye.